In the tapestry of life, where every thread holds a story, America in Black and White emerges as a haven for the voices echoing through the heart of our communities. In this podcast, we wade through the rivers of our collective experiences, celebrating the vibrant hues of change brought forth by the whispers of hope and the roars of action. It's more than just a conversation. It's a journey into the heart of our society, illuminated by the light of those daring to dream and do. Join us, and let your voice be the melody that guides us toward a dawn where every color finds its place in the masterpiece of our shared destiny. Together, let's paint a future brimming with the positives that dwell in our minds and the actions that shape our world.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of America in Black and White, where we're coloring conversations on the canvas of America. Tonight we have a very special guest. We have Mr. Patrick Adeyemi-Buckle as our guest tonight. For Patrick, it says that a voice for the vulnerable, from veterinary roots to the front lines against human trafficking. My name is Patrick Adeyemi-Buckle, born on October 24th, 1973, in Freetown, Sierra Leone. I am a proud Creole, a Sierra Leonean American, bachelor's in veterinary medicine, and a passionate advocate against human trafficking. I come from a humble but strong family with 2 sisters and 1 brother. My mother is still alive, and my father, a respected veterinarian who mentored me, passed away in 2024. I am happily divorced, do not smoke or drink, and live a peaceful and focused life. Since childhood, I've been known for my love for animals, especially dogs, and for nature, classical music, and the beach. I enjoy going on long walks along the coast, and I love a boisterous ocean. I love to laugh and I play, but I can quickly switch to being serious when needed. I believe anyone can be my family. I cherish the scripture that says, "Whatsoever you do to the least of my brethren, that you do unto me." Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce to you Mr. Patrick Buckle. Hello, sir.
Hello, sir. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing just excellent. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity for us to hang out a little bit.
Well, I definitely appreciate you being here. As we went through your biography, is there anything that you'd like for the audience to know before we get into the show?
The last name is pronounced Adeyemi-Buckle.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know that I butchered that. I'm so sorry.
No, it's totally fine. I mean, you're not the only one who is struggling with that, so it's fine. I totally understand.
Well, I appreciate that.
Thank you once again. Sorry about that.
Well, I appreciate that, and let's hop into the show. And the first thing I'd like to talk about is your entrepreneur journey. So you can tell us what inspired you to become an entrepreneur, and how did you get started?
That's a very good question. That started since I was a very, 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 let me say, since I was a kid, as a matter of fact, because I believe that entrepreneurship is people trying to, solve problems, and now you'd put it this way, say, for profit. That's what people, that's what it is currently. But for me, in my own case, it was a little bit different. Even though I know doing what I was doing as a kid, I was sowing good seeds. And those seeds, when they sprout and and produce fruits today, I can see them in my life. So when I was growing up, um, like I said, my dad, he passed now. He was a veterinarian, and I used to work with him. He was like an apprentice to him and everything, and we worked together for a good amount of time until it got to a point when um, I was actually doing. It's just like you say, monkey see, monkey do. so so that's what exactly happened, and eventually I started in Sierra Leone. Back in Sierra Leone, it's okay to say castration, to do neutering. Yes. So I used to do that, and I see him do that, and I tried it, and I keep trying it, and not keep trying, but I tried it the first time, and it was successful on a puppy that we had, that they brought home. So that's how it's I started doing that, and then it got to some point when he wasn't home. He left. He wasn't with us anymore, around 16, 17 or something like that. And then I was like the father figure in the house. So and then I would go to school and come back home, and I would cook for my brother and my sister, and I would have extra, and I would always make sure the neighbors have. I would actually sometimes have to sneak some food out, so I would feed the neighbors, my friends around the area. Yes, and then it got beyond that. It got to some point when I started realizing that this is just me, and this is just me helping people, and the charity part of it, if I should put it that way. So I was like, oh my god, this is interesting. So, and then it got to some point when I wasn't even wearing my own clothes for more than 6 months. I realized I would wear them for a certain period of time, and then I would see myself putting them all together and trying to find someone to give it to, so someone else can benefit from it. And then before looking for something else. Yeah, I remember that very well. And I was 16, 17, and I realized at some point, it got to the point when I started paying school fees for people almost my age. And the reason how that ended up happening was because I was because at my age, I was exposed out there. I was going out there treating people's animals, domestic animals, and they were totally fine with it because I would charge less compared to the veterinary doctors who are in the hospital. So in the environment, and especially those communities, those small communities, they were like, if he's doing it to help his family, why not help him? So I would always kind of like have money and extra money to take care of not just my family, but also to help others. And I would also use it a lot of times um, to pay school fees for some people. Interestingly enough, just these few years now, people keep coming up and telling me that, hey, you used to pay school fees for me. I was like, I'm not sure I remember that. so so that's how it started. And then it got to I actually thought he was gone. That particular kind of spirit was gone. I thought he was gone, but I realized that it wasn't. It was just kind of like sleeping. And then when I was in the plane going last year, going to Sierra Leone, and I was in Turkey, and I ran into someone who was coming from Algeria. I didn't know that. The plane was almost like empty in Burkina Faso, and he asked me, say, if he could sit by me. I said, sure. So he sat by me, we started talking, and then he explained his ordeal, what he had gone through, and something sparked in me because you probably didn't know, I didn't mention that, but I am also a human trafficking survivor. I was trafficked in Russia, in Moscow myself. So for confidentiality and privacy reasons, a lot of times I don't mention it or put it out there. So that happened, and that sparked a huge fire inside of me, and I was like, oh my god. I felt very bad for him because I know where he's been, and I know, and I can feel for him. I can put my foot into his shoes exactly, and so I mean, we went, we sat and we were talking, and by the time I got to Freetown, Sierra Leone, when we landed in Lunga International Airport, I was in tears, and so we talked, and I connected with him. I took his, I mean, find a way to get a contact for him, and then we connected, and then I started helping him, and I got here back in Boston, and then I realized, oh, this is not just this kind of connection. This is a lot more than that. This was a calling. It turned out to be a calling. So well, that's how I started off with the foundation, the True Hope Foundation International. I didn't know what was going on because I by then I was working for Boston University, and I was like, I'm a scientist. I mean, I don't know anything about all of this. So to myself, between myself and God, I was like, God, I'm not sure how this is playing out, and I don't know anything about this. I'm not a humanitarian or philanthropist or something like that. How are you taking me this part? And He's been doing it, and He's been doing what He can do in my life, and till today. Um, I mean, He has never left me or left the foundation, and I'm looking forward, and I know that as long as I continue to pour positive and pour into people's lives and positive things, people keep getting back to the foundation and sending messages and saying thank you and God bless you, and I will never forget this. I mean, I'm sure those blessings, those good vibes will continue to come my way, continue to come the foundation's way. So I don't know if that answers your question.
So, can you share some key challenges you faced when starting your first venture?
Mm-hmm. It was difficult for me because as it was difficult for me because as a survivor, like I said, it was difficult connecting, and it was good because I was there to help people, but at the same time, it was to some extent when, I mean, they could confide in me, and they can only confide in me because they know, and I've told them that I know exactly what you feel like. They tell me what they feel, I mean, what they're experiencing, but it opens all the wounds, if I should put it that way. So it was difficult, but now I'm getting used to it, and I believe that I'm an ambassador to help others, and I'm here to pay it forward because yeah, that's probably what I can say. That's one of the challenges I think I experienced, and but like I said, it's getting a lot better now. It's not as bad as it was when I just started.
So, what kind of businesses have you created, and how do they align with your personal values?
Um, the foundation, currently we work with victims of human trafficking, survivors of human trafficking, some potential victims of human trafficking, and we do we do. Give me a second, please. Um, we use our poverty alleviation programs to support these people in Sierra Leone and West Africa, and that's where the Boston office is the headquarters, but the Sierra Leone office is where it's based. It's based in Sierra Leone because that's where most of the work is right now. So all of what I'm currently doing, helping people with education, is what I did when I was a kid, supporting them when, I mean, when they're going through difficult times, psychosocial support. We provide that in the foundation. We rescue, and I would say, I mean, I would say Jesus rescued me, saved me from so many things, if I should put it that way. And I probably would not even have been here by now if he had not rescued me in a situation I mean, that's trafficking situation that I found myself in Moscow. And we provide, I mean, medical screening in the foundation. Everything that I basically was most. I mean, everything. I mean, or most of it, and more, and then some of what I used to do and what I'm doing now is all compounded. So so I've added to it, and there's a lot more that the foundation is that the foundation is offering. We offer community development programs, and we provide school materials for the children. We provide microfinancing, especially for parents who have especially if we have minors, because unfortunately the traffickers would go for children, for young children, 15, 16, 13. So if they come back and we find out that their parents, they're not in a position to help them, and they've been exposed to sexual exploitation, and it would be a problem if I try to put them to school. I would send them back to school, and they would do very well. But the problem is, I'm afraid that if I leave them to just go out there and their parents can't even afford to take care of them, it's a problem. And so that's how I ended up offering microfinancing. So, and so many other programs, so many other things that we do. We provide shelter. And
So
I know that's something that definitely I got help with too. When a lot of stuff happened when I was growing up. So I don't know if that is.
So when we talk about your values and the work that you do,
Yeah.
how does the work that you do translate into your values? What are your values, and how do you define them as to what pushes the whole agenda to make it work? What are your values?
Integrity, and if that's what you're referring to, because I'm a Christian, and what I'm looking at is for the foundation. For people to be able to see Jesus, to see a good Christian, to see the values of a Christian, honesty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Honesty is definitely a big one for sure. Yeah. Integrity is another one.
Mm-hmm.
And the love for one another. Yeah. And like I said, whatsoever you do to the least of my brethren, that you have done unto me, I believe in that. So that's what we hold on to, and we are very we believe in discipline, and a lot of respect for each other. Yeah, in the foundation, and um, I am big on, like I said, I'm big on honesty, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, if I should say that. Maybe if something else comes to mind, I'll definitely bring it up and let you know.
So, how do you identify the market gaps or the opportunities, for doing your business, for all of the endeavors as a whole when it comes to operating your business?
You're gonna have to try to break it down a little bit. English is not my first language, so
Okay.
yeah,
So
let's.
when I talk
Yeah,
about the market gaps or the opportunities, so let's say as you have your business and the foundation established right now.
yeah.
And so when you are trying to grow and expand that, what are some of the opportunities that you can identify that allows you to get those opportunities in order to help to grow and expand the business?
Opportunities. I don't get it. Rephrase it, please. Sorry.
So when you're doing your business
Yeah.
and you want your business to grow, when you yourself, let's say, you may have challenges in the business, as far as adding things or taking things away.
Yeah.
When you get the opportunity to grow that business, that means that these are things that are coming by that are helping you to grow the business. What are some of those things that have come to you to help you to grow the business?
At the moment, I would almost say nothing at the
Mm-hmm.
moment, yes. But if we have access to, because we have a lot of land,
Mm-hmm.
yes. If we have access to agriculture,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, to make use to utilize the land and do some form of agriculture that maybe arable form of agriculture to keep people busy and keep people employed and help people to not continue to fall into the trap of human trafficking
Mm-hmm.
and provide shelter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely, that would be something that would make a lot of, I mean, difference. And clean water, it may sound very mundane on, I mean, almost like just clean water. Seriously,
Mm-hmm.
but it's. I mean, I by the time I was coming back from Sierra Leone, um, from up the provinces coming back, I realized that the same place that they were getting water from is, I mean, they were getting washing their clothes is the same place they're getting water from.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like opportunities to have access to clean water.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and access to even toilets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, access to places to I mean to I mean defecate, sanitation in the, I mean, schools. Because I remember they specifically asked me, say, we need schools, we need more schools here. And I remember they asked me, we need a mosque.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So how do you search to find those opportunities?
Um I do have a couple of how do you call them, couple of groups.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but like I said, I'm very new to this, all of this. I don't know how to do it. I'm definitely looking to, I mean, network with other organizations who are helping and, I mean, helping me, I mean, like connecting and
Mm-hmm.
to get the help that we need. That's what we're doing. That's like something like this that I'm doing currently. I believe it's, yeah, it's something that I'm hoping will, I mean, someone would see the need to come and say, hey, this guy is doing a good job, let's help him out. I do have experts, or I can say experts, but I do have people who have more knowledge than I do in this particular field, social workers,
Mm-hmm.
admin and finance and stuff. Yeah, but the opportunities, like you said, that um, I mean, the to provide, if someone is available and someone can provide microfinancing for women empowerment, financial empowerment, for example, definitely that is totally welcomed. And I'm looking forward to that, because that particular community where they traffic those girls took them to Burkina Faso, you have a huge amount of people, very decent and very respectful, very disciplined, very I don't know the word. They are very good with money. You understand? Yeah, they're very good with money, and I know for sure if anyone has something like that, he or she can invest on those women.
Okay.
Yes, in a community like that, and that will definitely minimize, or maybe to a very large extent, even eradicate human trafficking, or prevent the trafficking from happening in that particular community. So if someone has access and someone can help with something like that, microfinancing, soft loans, and everything, the foundation does that and will be ready to facilitate something like that, or even fishing, as a matter of fact.
Mhm.
Yeah, because there is fishing going on in that environment. Sorry about that.
So we know that here in the 21st century, we know how technology is taking over and it's moving fastly and it's doing like an enormous amount of things. So tell us, how does innovation play a part in your business strategy as it grows?
Um, it's actually making a lot of difference. It has helped me a lot, because even if, for example, even if someone doesn't have access or doesn't know how to text,
Hmm.
as long as they have access to Wi-Fi, a little bit of Wi-Fi anywhere, um, can help that individual to be able to use WhatsApp
Hmm.
and speak in their own different languages and tell the, I mean, pass on the information. Because, for example, I do work with paramount chiefs in different parts of the country, in
Hmm.
the rural areas, very remote part of the, I mean, they said we don't have emails. We can try, but we have phones, and we have WhatsApp on our phones, and we can't text. We are not educated enough, but we can speak, we can communicate with you because I speak some of their languages,
Hmm.
and so we can communicate. And I remember also how it helped me immensely through WhatsApp. I can remember that there was a time also when the foundation rescued about 8 to 9 human trafficking victims in Kazakhstan. The only way I was able to get access to this individual was on WhatsApp, and it was it was difficult. It was tedious, but at the end of the day, I was able to ask him to send me. Look, I mean, I taught him how to get into the bottom side of the WhatsApp and used his share location. He shared just a glimpse of it, but he wasn't able to share the location permanently. I mean, like for a good amount of time, I wanted him to do that so I could get the law enforcement agency in Kazakhstan to rescue them, because they were in a brick factory locked up, and I mean, in a forced labor kind of situation. So I asked him, and he was able to send me. Eventually, he sent me that glimpse, and that's all we used to be able to rescue them. And now he's free, and he's happy, and he's working. And the foundation made all that possible. And now he's almost about to get refugee status in Kazakhstan.
Mm. And
Yes.
so, like in your business, like you started it, you're moving it, and you're working on ways of actually trying to grow and expand it. So, can you tell us, in the process of growing your business up to this point now, has there ever been a time where you faced a setback, where something came along, it caused you to stall, to stop, or maybe it just slowed you down a lot? How did that happen, if that did occur? And what did you do to overcome that to keep moving?
For me, no situation is above me, as long as if I have the ability to solve it. Um, Whatever I know that this is beyond, this I can't, I mean, this is not something that's like the weather. There's nothing I can do about it. I mean, I can't change the weather or the climate, but I can't change it. But I'm the kind of individual who doesn't give up. I'm like nothing. I just I mean, don't say that's it. I give up. I'm done with this. But I have definitely run into situations like that, and sometimes I'll just say, okay, well, if that's the case, then let's do what is good for the people for now. And let's focus on our goals. Let's focus on what is most important right now. And what gets in the way, what was getting in the way, or still getting in the way, as a matter of fact, is corruption.
Mhm.
Corruption in high places. You understand? So it got in the way, and I'm like, okay, you are still being a pain in the butt. That's your problem. I'm gonna continue doing what we do. What I mean, to help the people, and make sure people get what they need. And we decided to move on with doing outreach in the country with the very little that we have. We don't have funding. I don't have funding. I'm not funded by the Sierra Leonean government, or not even yet the U.S. government. Everything is just done, out of pocket and with small bits and pieces of donations from few places and few people, Sierra Leoneans. So, I believe that if I'm waiting for my food to cool down in the microwave, I believe that I should be washing dishes whilst I wait, not sit down and ponder and be impatient and run out of patience. No, I don't do. I believe that waiting period is for a reason. I would probably be reading or doing something. So, yeah, I don't know if that answers your question.
Okay, so now we're going to transition over to your work in preventing this human trafficking, because I know that that's the major part of your work. And so, when you first started this, what motivated you to become involved in this fight against human trafficking?
Well, because I am a survivor myself, that's the first thing, and then the next thing is the fact that I got the spark came from this individual that I met in the plane. That's how it started, and then besides that, I already have the foundation, the base from the very beginning since I was a kid growing up, helping people. So it was very easy somehow to say, oh, so this has come up again. So that means this is something that I've never been as happy. I've never been this happy in my whole life. And this is because I you don't have a lot of people who would say, I finally found my purpose in life. I have.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm
Oh,
proud of it. Yes. And I'm happy about it. And I thank God for that.
that's wonderful.
Yeah.
And so when you think about that, and what motivated you, can you describe some of the initiatives or projects you've worked on related to this cause?
What we're currently doing right now, right this, we've gone to about 10 schools in Sierra Leone, for example, and um, 10 high schools
Mhm.
in the city, in the capital city, in Freetown. And we have, been going to all the schools when they have, where they are congregated, like they have a morning devotion and something like that. And we will talk to them about the dangers of human trafficking and try to, it's like raising public awareness and, reminding them and showing them clips of what is happening in Algeria, for example, in the Niger Delta, the Niger border areas, in the different parts, even in Kazakhstan, and all the experiences, some of the pictures that they send. They are all true pictures of the exact situation is what is going on. We've been on 10 schools for now, and that's just phase one. We have, the plan is to do the entire country. So we're busy. And
Mm.
then here in the US, I am working on, connecting with. I have two volunteers here. We're working together, also, and looking for volunteers. I'm currently looking for volunteers, and I just have a case that I was telling you about few hours ago that I mentioned that we have twin girls that got abducted from Sierra Leone, and now they are here in the U.S. and we have to find them. And the mom signed a document which I believe turned out to be a legal adoption document, which she didn't know that she didn't know what she was doing because she's illiterate. So they took advantage of her vulnerability, and now she can't find her kids anymore. And so that's I'm working very closely with the law enforcement agencies, the task force here in different cities to see how they can be of help with that particular case. So
So, in this work, though, how do you raise awareness about human trafficking in communities? How do you raise that awareness? How do you get the word out?
That's what we are doing. That's what I just told you.
Okay.
Yeah, those are the communities that I mentioned. Yeah.
So they're more than just one community, though, right?
No, it's like I said, the plan is to go through the entire country. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and we already currently have lots and lots of calls from people asking us, like, when are you coming to our schools? And that's not the only thing. Just recently, we just because the country, in especially Sierra Leone, the U.S. Department of State have been complaining that they always have problems with the hotline. The hotline doesn't work; it's inoperable. And I have seen that, and I remember, and I noticed that. I was like, something needs to be done about this. And there was a time I actually asked my staff. I said, call the hotline. We need help. We need help with the case. And someone called and it wasn't working. So I was like, okay, what do we do? Then, I said, okay, something needs to be done. In the next 1 or 2 weeks, we'll be launching our own human trafficking hotline from the foundation, and that will be impacting the entire country.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, and see that's a wonderful thing. And I know that you mentioned the operation that's mainly has been established in Sierra Leone. So in conjunction with your operation here in the U.S., because human trafficking is also one of the big things that's happening here as well.
Mm-hmm.
So do you guys have any kind of plans of actually working together and coordinating, between the two places, as to how you guys can come up with a big broad plan to kind of like help to stop this as much as possible? Or are there any of that going on?
Yes, definitely. That's something we have. Not just have in mind, but like I told you, the twin girls are here in the U.S.
Hmm.
And I'm working very closely with the law enforcement agencies to see how that can be solved. And now that they're getting to know me and know the foundation and see that this is what this guy does, and because they didn't know me,
Hmm.
but I sometimes attend the different task force meetings in different areas. But when you're a novice in a particular field, and you don't have a lot of people of color in that particular field involved. That kind of involvement. You kind of like not you're not quite welcome very well, or as expected. Yes, you're expecting, but
Hmm.
it's going to take time.
Okay.
And besides, um, I mean, the I believe that what the foundation is doing is we're nipping things on the butt, because most of the time, at the end of the day, when I speak with a lot of people in different similar organizations or foundations, or in here in the US, especially here in Boston, that I spoke to, they tell me we have victims, or we have survivors who are coming from Sierra Leone.
Hmm.
So,
Oh,
yeah, basically, if I'm indirectly solving the problem from where where the challenge that we're having, solving it from where it's coming from.
okay.
So, providing housing and providing opportunities, because personally, honestly speaking, I can tell you that if I had the opportunity to study veterinary medicine in Sierra Leone, because the only reason why I had to travel to Moscow, to Russia, to study veterinary medicine is because I didn't have access to a veterinary school. The school was vandalized by rebels during the war. So I tried, and there was no way. So I was like, I have to travel. I have to get out of the country. If I had that opportunity in Sierra Leone to study there, there was no need for me to travel to go to a place where I don't even speak the language, because I never spoke Russian my entire life. But now I do, but which is also a good thing. But
Mhm.
if we have the opportunities, so providing the opportunities for them out there, that they're looking for, something as simple as, like a good meal and stuff, and water, and access to water and sanitation and toilets and schools, and polytechnics will definitely turn things around, then people wouldn't be coming to trying to go to the Mediterranean to go and die and lose their lives and end up getting killed or thrown and dumped in the desert, which is what I get to deal with almost on daily basis.
Oh wow.
Yeah, including pregnant women.
So like again, so we're talking about the human trafficking now.
Yeah.
So can you tell us what are some of the common misconceptions about human trafficking that you have encountered?
People think it's just, it's total strangers that would do that to you. No, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
It can be familial. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it can be familial. Most times it's familial.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And so then I guess then that goes to the point of when you're telling people about being careful, because you never know when that time may come or when somebody may try to actually snatch you or your children.
Yeah, yeah, it can be. Most of the time, especially in Sierra Leone, as much as I know, like it's uncles. Like I remember that, like there was one, 16, 15-year-old boy. He was taken by his uncle, his father's brother, to the city to be, for his kidneys to be harvested.
What? Get
Yeah,
out of here.
yeah, and that's a case that I'm currently working on.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah, and he was, and that's not the only thing. He was trying to sell the kid first for about between, I think, something like $15,000-$20,000. They were bargaining and talking about how much are you ready to pay and stuff like that. And then the police got in, and then they found out what they were doing, and they took him to a herbalist and put something in his mouth so he can't even speak. So he didn't even know what the kid didn't even know what he was doing anymore. And then he just um, used the opportunity, and then he stood there. The kid stood there and was waiting. And then all they needed to do was to, when they're done bargaining, then they will do perform the ceremony, and that will be the end of that kid. But now he's alive, and we are taking care of him. And he's a mechanic working in a garage, and we check on him regularly and everything. We provide tools for him so he can be self-reliant and taking care of himself and everything. He's up in the provinces, in the like rural areas.
So just from an overall perspective, how can other businesses play a role in preventing human trafficking within their own operation?
I think they have to be, what first came to my mind is they definitely have to be very sensitive and pay attention to what's going on in their environment, and not just be very naive and just take people by face value and say, oh no, he's fine and stuff like that. You never know who. This is something that we need to be reminded of. This is the human trafficking space or industry is very profitable. They make a lot of money. There's a lot of money in it, and you have very rich people that will just sit back there and say, see how you can get me some kidneys. I'm dying.
Mm.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
Oh wow. Oh, so can you tell us this? For as long as you've been doing this work, what are some of the worst and the best things that you have seen?
The worst things is when one of my our survivors, she was taken to Ghana, and she got raped by the trafficker. The trafficker now is in prison for 165 years in Sierra Leone, and back in Ghana, um, she ended up having a child for him, for the trafficker.
Oh
And,
God.
and he asked, he asked, it's difficult for me to talk about, but he asked her to give him the child so he can sacrifice the child, because it turned out he was a herbalist. He said, "Give me." I mean, he needs the child to to slit. I mean, to cut the child's throat, to kill him and sacrifice the child to some kind of deity so he can get money.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, and there is more. He believes in a lot of things, and he was actually peeing in her mouth. Yeah, unfortunately. And the best thing is this same person, her life is changing right in front of my eyes for the better. She's happy. She's grateful. She's smiling again. She's
Mhm.
laughing. And
Wow.
the most interesting part of it is, I mean, um, just talking to her and telling her what I feel. I mean, what I've been through, and how, I mean, she can heal if I can heal, if I'm able to be healed and get out of what I experienced. I say it might take a long time. Just talking to her, talking to her, talking to her until today. Now she's just not, I mean, getting healed, but she's also feeling loving her son,
Mhm.
who, you know, the circumstance and the situation and what how she got the child. It was difficult. It was very
Wow.
difficult. Yeah, it was. There was a because there was a time when she was like, I wish he could die.
Oh my God. Because
Yeah. So
that's got to be humiliating to be forced to do something like that. And I'm sure that that's like the whole thought process. Because I know overall, eventually, she had to know, with it being her child, that she had to love the child.
mhm.
Oh wow. So just so as we're looking at, the growth of, of your establishment as you're growing your foundation, what are some of the things that you'd like to do, or partner with, or ask some of the people out there that's watching the show right now, as to how can they get involved in helping your organization, to grow and to get larger? What are some of the things you'd like to have these people know that you need?
Yeah, that's a very good question. What we currently need this very moment is, we don't have a vehicle. We use public transportation to go from school to school, to do this outreach. And I mean, the foundation is asking. I'm asking on behalf of the foundation if someone can help with a vehicle,
Mm-hmm.
to help us. It can be a 5 or 6 or 8 seater vehicle, a van, to take everyone to, I mean, the city. I mean, not just the city, but the entire country, because that's the plan. Because we don't have a vehicle. And we also need we have a space where someone gave us 40 acres of land. We have plans to put all our programs, including the hospital. Which, I mean, we have plans to put schools there. We have plans to put a shelter there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and administrative offices. We currently have an office in Freetown, but it's not. We are renting it. If, I mean, someone can help us, I mean, buy an office, buy a building, or something, and to build an administrative building, because we intend to establish, I mean, to open up, um, I mean, an office, put the administrative office in Freetown, which is the capital city, but we also intend to establish complex, excuse me, different, I mean, complex in hotspots, of human trafficking hotspots areas.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, this is indirectly mitigating the situation here, including our situation that we have here with housing in Massachusetts as well.
So how do you plan on making that connection between the two? How are you going to make that connection to work from you, with you being here in the US through to Freetown? How are you planning on establishing that connection, and how do you want them to help you with that connection?
The foundation is fully registered here in Boston, Massachusetts.
Mhm.
I just paid for it to be a 501c3. For 501c3 status, in waiting for approval. If someone can help make it happen, faster, or um, give us some directives or help with how it can be done, and maybe someone choose to volunteer, and be of some help, and that would be nice. But definitely, I know for sure that here in the US we have more sex trafficking, and we have more forced labor trafficking, which is not outside of my coverage or radar. It is, and I deal with it. I mean, I can. The good thing is I like that the foundation is called True Hope Foundation International.
Mhm.
So I deal with people from Algeria. I deal with people from Kazakhstan. I deal with people from I'm trying to remember, Tunisia.
Mhm.
Yeah, and just quite recently, not even recently, currently, I'm dealing with also people. We have like 5 victims. They're still victims because they are not survivors. They are still in Moscow in a precarious situation. And I reached out to the law enforcement agencies. They are trying to see how they can help. And um, like when we found out that we have the twin girls, they are here in the US. I won't. Because I have the foundation, it was easy for me to just reach out and say, I'm the founder and the CEO of this foundation, the True Hope Foundation International, and I need help with this particular situation. And most importantly, because it's within the jurisdiction of the
Mhm.
US. So I mean, definitely the help is sure to come. I'm gonna just have to wait, but.
Mhm.
Um, it's international, so I don't even have to link anything. I just probably need to bridge the gap a little bit.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's all.
So, so with some of the people that you help, is that limited or is that full? Like, does that consist of just the little boys and girls? Is that like just everybody? Are there like any LGBTQ children there? How does that work?
We're not limited to work with any. We we're not limited. We work with everyone. We work with everyone. The only trouble we kind of like have right now, especially in Sierra Leone,
Mhm.
is we can only get to a certain level because we have an attorney
Mhm.
that can help, because we have the legal assistance side of it as well. It
Mhm.
helps, but if it gets to the point where, because in Sierra Leone it's still, um, like same-sex relationship is still punishable by law. It's still a crime. So we still have to be tread cautiously, or else we might get in trouble. So if whosoever shows up at the door on the like True Foundation does and
Mhm.
needs help,
Mhm.
we are bound to help that individual,
Mhm. But
whatever
you can only go
trans or
so
not.
far, though. But you can
Yes,
only go
yeah,
so far.
yeah. What we do is we do referrals. If
Mhm.
it gets to the point when we see that this the attorney said I can't do anything about this, we won't be able to help, if because they might end up getting, being victimized from even the law enforcement agents, because they know it's a crime.
Right. Okay.
Yes, so that might be a problem, but we will still send them to like the United Nations and say, you can reach out to UNODC or something like that, and see if you can, see how, and then probably we can reach out to them as well and say, this is the situation and these people need help, and this is the farthest we can go. So how can you guys help?
Mm-hmm.
So we don't have any bounds. We don't have any limitation. Like we're not limited, though, except like I said over there, it's a little bit different. So we have to respect the laws of the land.
Mm. So, can you share a success story from your work in combating human trafficking?
This individual that I met with, that I told you about, um, that was in that was in the plane, that I met with. Um, he went he went he went back, and I helped him. I rented a house for him for a year. Um, within a year, within that year, he was able to build his own house.
Oh wow.
Yeah, one. Yeah, one. I think it's one or two bedroom apartment. He was able to build his own house.
Wow.
Yeah, he's and we helped. We provided him with a job opportunity because he lives up the provinces in the rural areas, and
Mm-hmm.
he's he's I mean, like, he had some experience in mining.
Mm-hmm.
So I was able to reach out and talk to someone for him. I mean, to see how they can help, and explain, say, well, this is the situation, and he really needs help and something like that. He started working, and within 1 year where he lived, and now he rented it, and he's living in a different house here. It's a success story. And that's, I mean, and this other lady that I told you about, she's currently in a polytech, I mean, not vocational training school. She will soon finish up. She will be finishing up soon, in the because she's doing cosmetology at the
Okay.
moment. Yes, and doing braids and stuff. And um, we just sent her son, paid for her son to go back to school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and she's doing very well,
Mm.
and she's very
So,
happy.
when you hear that, I mean, those are always great successful stories, and these are things that you want to hear. Um, so as this goes a whole lot deeper, and it gets to be like so many different things as the wheels are turning and so forth. Um, how do you guys put together or enforce the measures that you have when you try to stop this? What are some of the things you put together, and how do you enforce those actions to stop the trafficking? So, in other words, let me give you an example. Let's say, like, some of your people that's in place that's stopping trafficking, and they see this situation about to go down. What do they do to stop it because they know what's about to happen? How do they enforce that?
We call the police.
You could just call the police.
Yeah, yeah. That's now that we have the hotline that the foundation just, I mean, will be launching.
Okay.
You can call the hotline, or if the government's hotline works, you can
Mm.
call them.
Okay.
Yeah, because I mean, and here too, you can also, like here in the US, you can also call I mean, you can call the hotline. I'm sure it works, and you can get the help that you need, or call 911 or something like that.
Right.
Yeah, and yeah, and sometimes I'm like, you can call like the community people around. If
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they can, sometimes they can be of help. You can scream. I'm like, because back in Sierra Leone, it's okay to say, I'm like, or you can talk to someone and like, that's close by, and say, I'm not sure about this person's actions, or this movement or action. I mean, like, activity doesn't seem normal to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and discuss it. And the problem is, you can't tell who is. I mean, it's so difficult because they can. I mean, they're like wolf in sheep's clothing.
Yeah.
What
I
can
was
you?
about to say that because you just kind of like answered the question that was going in my mind. Like, like when these people come out and they attack these people, and they snatch them up. So I mean, like, are they normally like 3 and 4 people, or how does that normally look like? How is that described?
It's a chain. It's a chain, and The cases that I've worked with and I'm currently working with, they would, back in Sierra Leone, especially where you don't have access to a lot of opportunities,
Uh-huh.
they would reach out to their parents. Most of the time, they reach out to their parents or their guardian and say, um, for example, they would go to the provinces and say, I have, I would like to help your daughter, and we can put her in school, and because maybe she's not even in school and she probably is 10, she's never been to school, and say, she doesn't have to be here, like this, and not go to school. I can take her to the city and I can put her in school, and when this individual, either family member or maybe even total stranger, would say, we like your kid a lot, and we want to help him, we want to help her, and we have just one kid and we would like to have, to help more and stuff like that, and just give the impression like they're so nice and sweet and very, amazing family. But you never know what exactly the plan is, and when they get to the city, and it would be a completely different story. They're sexually abused, or some a few other things might be happening, and or sometimes they would just go to this family and say, oh, or a family member like auntie would come and say, oh, I know someone who has a program that would like to help, that can help your daughter, to take her to Algeria or to take her to Tunisia to go and work in a hotel and to clean and stuff like that, and it's better than her just sitting down and doing nothing like this.
Mm.
And she would say, that's true, like, and we're poor, we don't have money, we can't afford anything, and even if we try to put her in school, or she doesn't want to go to school or something like that, and then end up taking her, and when they reach to Burkina Faso, for example, or reach and get to Algeria, they end up being tossed in the street and get sexually exploited, and they would start revolting and say, no, this is not going to happen, this is not what we planned, this is not what you told me we were going to do. And you say, oh well, you're going to have to do it whether you want it or not. And
Oh,
then yeah, yeah, and then eventually they would either find a way to run away, or if they have WhatsApp on their phone and they can use it and tell their parents like this is something else. Sometimes the parents would say, well, um, unfortunately, they would endorse what is going on out there. Say, well, I don't have money. I'm like, if that's what they're asking you to do, just do it.
mm.
Yeah. So,
Um,
yeah.
so what are some of the most effective strategies you guys have used or are working on for empowering at-risk individuals and communities?
The poverty alleviation programs, that initiatives that we're using, they're very effective. They're very
Mm,
effective. Like I told you, this individual, because he was, because when he got back to Freetown, for example, he was
mm,
sleeping on the floor, in his mom's bedroom, on the floor, on the ground, just because he can't share his bed, his bed with his mom, so he
mm,
was sleeping on the floor. So when he told me that, I was like, that shouldn't happen. So that's not good. That shouldn't happen. So I felt very bad. And then when I got the place for him, it motivated him a
mm.
lot. It changed everything. It changed. I made sure that the place was furnished too. He was
Okay.
yeah, he was very happy, and things just turned around, and he was very happy, and his entire life changed.
Mm,
And like I said, the vocational training also, and for like this lady that is currently doing this cosmetology and so many other things. Like the braids and everything, and
mhm.
helping her with that. Like those things, they just take the load off, take the edge off. It helps. So
So, so
I don't
like
know if that.
with your efforts, like when you collaborate, with other organizations or stakeholders. How does that help your anti-trafficking efforts?
It definitely makes things a lot easier for me. It
Hmm.
definitely, yeah, it definitely brings, it brings a lot of relief. Even though I mean, I'm not getting as much help that I thought I would be getting.
Hmm.
I know it's probably going to take time because some of these you need history. You need they're looking for credibility. They're looking for so many other things to make sure that this he's here to stay and he means it. He means what he's doing and it's real. And that's the reason why I call the foundation True Hope Foundation, because especially
Hmm.
back in Sierra Leone, you have a lot of I mean fake. I don't know if I could call it non-profits, but they're
Hmm.
not real. They would all they care about is just getting numbers,
Oh,
getting data. Yeah, they care about data, taking pictures of people and kids and put it on their websites and not really helping people.
oh, wow.
Yeah, so we have that kind of story a lot. So I don't know.
So, what policies do you advocate for at the local or national level to address human trafficking?
Hmm. We already have them in place. They just need to, especially um, I don't know. Because for example, I think there was a new one that they just implemented. They just put in place policy. Human trafficking cases should just go right to the high court high court trial, something like that. I don't know how you call it. Um, but
Mhm.
it should be expedited and should not take long. And we should. I'm hoping we should. I'm hoping. I'm looking forward for us to have more convictions. We're not getting enough convictions. People are not going to prison for this, what is exactly going on is unfortunately they pay them off. They pay off the victims' parents or guardian behind their backs, and especially the guardians. So the parents, they just go and say, well, don't go to court anymore.
Mhm.
Yeah, and give them money. So if we need more convictions will definitely send the right message. I mean that we're coming for you, and this is not acceptable. This is wrong. This is not supposed to continue. We won't allow it to perpetuate itself.
So, can you tell us this? And I think we've probably did this before, but I want to make sure we do this again to make sure that people are listening. How can individuals contribute to the fight against human trafficking in their daily lives? What are some of the things you want people to do to contribute, to fight against human trafficking?
There's actually a lot that people can do. For example, what I think that came to mind is um, try to use the right channel in getting some stuff, especially when it comes to traveling. If someone comes over and say, "I can take you to Albania," for example, and um, that person is not a consul. It's not it's not doesn't work in the embassy. I mean, you use the right channel to get stuff, to get things done. But if you
Right.
think you can go to an individual that's going to go and get a ticket for you and everything, you are probably getting yourself into a trafficking situation.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
So then there's some things that they need to recognize, or
yeah,
some things, some tips to actually know that this could be possible situations.
yeah, yeah. Quick, get rich quick schemes.
Mm.
People, yeah, and people just, can't wait, and they're like, this has to happen now, and whatever the situation. Sometimes there's, there's always how do you call it, stimulus, and the I think the other word is the reaction. I'm like, during that moment when this comes up, and there's always a space in between that period that you have to think whether something has to be done or not, or whether you can go ahead with something or not. Use the opportunity to, use it wisely, and before, you making a decision, or else that particular period is the best period to make a decision, especially in a decision like that. Think very well before you make such decisions. It's I'm trying to think, something came to mind just now that I wanted to touch on, but never mind. Let's move on.
Well, so this is so people, I'm going to ask you some questions so people can get to know a whole lot more, a little bit better information as to you and how you operate. So how do you balance your time between entrepreneurship and your humanitarian work? How do you balance that time?
That's a good question. They pretty much go together. They pretty much go together. Like I said, like I said, the feeling, I feel very fulfilled doing what I'm doing, even though I don't have the funding yet. I know it will come. And the other thing, like I said, you don't have too many people who can say confidently, conveniently, comfortably, and peacefully or happily that they found their purpose in life. But I can say that, and I can say that conveniently, and I can say that with peace inside. So I honestly, they go together. That's probably the best answer I can give to you. Yeah, they go together.
Okay. So can you tell us what drives your passion for social justice and humanitarian causes?
Social justice. I think what drives it is what I see. When I see people in my own very eyes, I don't think I would ever stop doing what I'm doing right now. And when people get back, and we have my my office, my staff members in Sierra Leone and here in Boston, we have a group chat where we have a whole stash, something like an archive of people that just keep sending, God bless you, thank you so much. Some of them are in tears, joyful tears, and this would not have happened without you. So many things. Some of those things are when I go back and listen to them, it makes me cry too.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what drives us. They listen to it and they feel good. And someone just mentioned, one of my staff members, he said, these are the things that motivate us. These are the things that keep us here. These are the things that make us happy to do what we're doing right now.
And so tell us, how has your upbringing or background influenced your career path and values?
I know one thing I think I know for sure is I remember my dad, every time he does, sometimes we get to the point when we get so upset with him, we'll be like, Dad, why are you giving everything out? It's like- and then I'm like, we don't even, I mean, sometimes you don't even have enough to eat and you're giving everything out. So he's like, you would know later.
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out now I'm doing the same thing. And and
Right.
interestingly enough, my son, he will be 21 in August. He's also doing the same thing now. I'm like, the other day I
Oh,
went to church. Yeah.
it's like 3 generations.
That's interesting. The other day I went to church and I was standing by him and I mean, and his friends, and I looked at the shoes. I noticed that there was an orange and white sneakers that I bought for him. I saw his friend wearing it. I was like, oh my god! I
Right.
was like, he must have given it to him. He's like that too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So, in your opinion, what is the role of entrepreneurship in driving social change?
Entrepreneurship. For me, so far, I mean, the role is you change society, you change communities completely. You change them. I mean, with your virtues, with your good deeds, and with your experience, with your knowledge, with your skill set, all what you have inside of you, put it together with other people. That's why you have the staff members and everything. Two heads, like we say, are better than one. Put them together and help the community. That definitely changes. It may seem like not much is really happening, but you just wait and see what's how explosive it's gonna be. Like that definitely will turn things around, and it brings a lot of change to communities. A lot of um, not just communities, as a matter of fact, nations.
Mhm.
Yeah, nations, and solving problems. Um, and I believe it's not you just solving problems, but I mean, it's also something that um, people would emulate. That same example, and it will become a snowball effect, a good snowball effect, if I should put it that way. Something that
Mhm.
other people will copy from, and then you probably would be gone, but you still have your legacy right there. Other other people be using it and benefiting
Yeah,
from it.
but I think when it comes to humanitarian issues such as the one that you're attacking, those are always the most difficult ones because this is all about, when you think about it, when you sit back and you look at the picture, you say this is about morality. This is about what's doing right. This is what's doing good by people, because everybody deserves to have their free opportunities regardless of the case, and exploitation should always be out the window. Just things of that nature. In going to the cause is because it's like being humanitarian is probably one of the biggest things that any individual can do. And so this work that you're doing is definitely all about being humanitarian.
Yeah,
These are things that people need to understand, that people like you do exist, but also the work that you do is more than just a cause. This is about something that's really happening, that's exploiting people. And so I think once people get some we but once they realize that, then it's like, okay, I've got to do something. And so this is where your light that you're shining right now has to continue to shine. It has
yeah,
to.
yeah. You will. Thank you.
So, how do you
But
see the future of anti-human trafficking initiatives evolving?
I see a very good future. I see a very good prognosis for it. I think it's going to get better. And I mean, this may sound braggadocious, but I mean, the truth about me, I mean, for the ones that know me, I'm someone who doesn't give up. I'm someone who, when I put in my foot, my feet, I mean, I put my feet into something and said I'm going to get into this.
Mhm.
I mean, the last drop of blood, if that's what it takes, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna continue doing it. So if anyone thinks that this is something that oh, it's gonna give up at some point, nope. No.
There you go.
No.
There you go.
Yeah,
I like that.
yeah, it is.
I like that.
That's the truth. And I mean, even if we have to, I mean, we can scale down if we have to. We can do what we have to do to make sure we're able to fund and manage. And even if we have to move into a small touch building or whatever it is, and as long as I mean, True Foundation will stay, and I mean, it's here to stay, and we will do what needs to be done and help people. I mean, this, like I said, I mean, like you just said, this is the highest calling, the call to
Mhm.
serve, and
Yes.
I'm ready. I mean, and I'm glad I have a team who are ready to do the work, and who I mean, it's not easy to find people. I mean, like humanitarians, like people who you have the same mindset or like minded. It's not easy,
Mhm.
but when you find them, I honestly sleep in peace now.
Mm.
Yeah,
So,
sometimes even though. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
no, I'm saying, so what legacy do you hope to leave through your work?
Mhm. What legacy do I? The what comes to mind is I remember when I find out that people even now, remember I told you, I was talking about we were joking, like we had a privileged conversation with like the entire foundation members, and
Mhm.
then we're having some kind of meeting and everything, and then they're like, and then I was teasing someone. I said there was one kid in Sierra Leone when I was back in Sierra Leone who were just growing, like in my early teens or something like that. So they are one of the kids that I used to help. So at some point, I remember that he had some double teeth. Yeah, like extra. so, so, so he didn't like it. He didn't like it. I knew he wasn't comfortable with it, and I know he was something. I was little myself, but I knew that he was bothering him. He could not speak well because he was getting the extra teeth. They were getting in the way and everything. So it got to some point, and then you won't believe me. I mean, you won't believe it, but I took him to the dentist, and they removed it. They
Oh,
removed they
wow.
removed both of them, and I paid for it. And
Mhm.
till this day, he is very grateful for it. I was teasing him. I was like telling him, I was like, man, I can't even believe I did this. I took you to the dentist and they removed those teeth. So we were laughing about it. We were laughing about it, and then I think I said something. I said, I can't even believe I said, I said, you actually said I used to pay school fees for you. He said, yeah. He said, and someone else said, he said, Patrick, it wasn't just me. He said, Ade, he said, it wasn't just me. He said, it wasn't just for him. You paid school fees for me too.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, I was in my 15, 16,
Mhm.
17, around those ages, and they were also in school. I was paying school fees for them. So, and lately I see so many of those stories coming up, and people keep telling me these things that, yeah, this is what you did for me. This is what you did for me. Some of them I was like, I can't even remember them anymore, honestly speaking. So I like that, and I'm sure there's a lot more coming. That's probably the legacy I want to leave, and but honestly speaking, even if tomorrow I wake up and I'm not here anymore, I'm happy with what I've done so far, and I know God is going to continue to keep me to do what He has entrusted in my hands, and the people that He has asked me to help and support and work with. He will continue to pour all forms of blessing in my life, just because He has seen from not it's proven. He has a proof that this guy, I can trust him. He's been doing this not just today, so we have a history together.
Mhm.
Yes, so because of that history, that's the reason why he's going to continue pouring money and pouring all kinds of support, all kinds of help, because he has enough to show. I have enough to show now that we've come a long way. Yeah.
So, how do you stay motivated during challenging times?
How do I stay motivated in challenging times? Um, I had when I was yeah, yeah, when I was little, if I should say, I was having some dreams, a lot of dreams. I'll tell my mom sometimes I don't, because it got to some point when she told me, "Don't tell anyone about this." Yeah, and I remember them. Sometimes I still have them, and I know um, this is not natural. This is definitely taking me somewhere. I don't know where, but I know my life is in God's hands. And then I've had a lot of experiences with. I've had a lot of experiences, amazing experiences that um, I'm not sure I want to talk about. That
Okay.
I know for sure that there's no way anyone can convince me that God's hands is not. God's hands are not in. Aren't in my life. I know it's in my life, and it's gonna. And I see the manifestation, and I see transformation happening right in front of my face, in my eyes. So that's one, and then I think stay motivated. I try to read. I don't. I'm more auditory. I don't. Yeah. But and with what all with the foundation also and everything that's going on, it helps me. And like I said, it's also. The good vibes coming from the survivors, coming from the victims, even the ones in Moscow. I mean, I'm surprised. Even one of my college mates in Russia, he knows me very well. He knows what I've been through, and he's part of the foundation. He's one of the ones. He's interestingly enough, almost for a month now, he's the one that's been feeding the victims in Moscow this very moment. Even yesterday, he sent food for them. Yeah.
Mhm. So, what role does education play in addressing the issues you
Hmm.
focus on?
That's a big one. Yeah, it's rather unfortunate, honestly speaking. I'm laughing, but it's not laughing, but it's a tough one. Like I said, if this lady who had these two, these twins who are currently here that I'm trying to locate, if she was educated, and if I believe she must have read. She would have been able to read the documents and see that this is an adoption document that she's signing. She would not have given up those kids. And the one in um, even the one in the 13-year-old girl who got taken from Sierra Leone to Algeria. If the parents would have seen, if they were educated, they would have known that what they were signing was getting that child into a precarious situation. And the ones that are
Mhm.
in Moscow, for example, if they were educated enough, they would have I think they probably would have, excuse me, they probably would have gone to um, the embassy, or Even when they told him that your the what's on the passport, they said, we want to go to Albania. Why are you sending us to Russia? And they probably would have noticed on the passport that the visa was only a transit visa. It was just 5 days visa. And when they got there, by the time they got to Russia, the visa was their paperwork was already expired. Education.
So, so looking ahead, what are your aspirations for your business and humanitarian efforts over the next 5 years?
Aspirations. We definitely need around 25 minimum $25 million for the complex. We need a complex, yeah, for all the programs that we do, to establish in especially hotspot areas, like I'm like have shelters and everything, and help communities minimize the exposure and the like I mean like get access so they can get access to drinking water and something like that, different opportunities, and that's definitely one of them. And for sure, we need a shelter, because that's one big problem, in especially in Sierra Leone at the moment. Actually, even not just in Sierra Leone, even here in Massachusetts, we have a problem with that. So that's something we need help with. Housing. In Sierra Leone, we don't. I mean, there isn't any male shelter in the entire country. Yeah, no
Oh,
male shelter
wow.
and so it turns out most of the kids are in the street, and sometimes they end up in orphanages or places where they don't belong, and they don't actually get the right kind of trauma informed care that they were supposed to get as human trafficking victims or survivors. They don't have it. So, um, of course, I mean, we're looking forward to that, and there's a lot more. But for sure, we're looking at that amount. I wish I could probably like go into details and like say it all, but I did not.
Well, I definitely appreciate you taking this time with us. And so, if you can,
Hmm.
in closing, are there any words of wisdom, encouragement that you'd like to leave with the audience? How they can connect with you via social media, your website, what they can do to help your organization? Are there any words you'd like to leave here in closing?
So, if you find yourself in a situation, I mean, you're currently in a situation, human trafficking, you've been trafficked, all is not lost. And I'm saying that because I am a living proof. And I am myself a survivor. And today I want to, I mean, the I thank the U.S., if I should say specifically, for saving me and putting me in this situation. And um, the current, I mean, what I'm currently doing is to what I'm currently doing is to help. Basically, I should say I should put it. I mean, to pay it forward. What was provided and has been. I mean, I have the opportunity to be helped um, by different people, and I am also blessed and opportunity to have. I mean, to be an ambassador to help other people in this kind of fight. And I'm asking you kindly not to give up, and you'll get out of this, and you'll get out of this alive, and you'll be better off than even where you are right now. I can promise you that. You just need to hold on, and you what you might be seeing currently doesn't look like what you thought you were planning or you were hoping to get yourself into. But this is just um, a matter of time. It would only, I mean, it's going to get better. You're not going to lose your life right there. Just hold on. And if it's not me, if it's not the True Hope Foundation International in Boston or in Sierra Leone that would come to help you, I want to assure you that um, someone else will. Someone else will. God will definitely come to your rescue. And that's my word for you. And you just continue holding on. Just continue, be patient, and don't end it. Don't end it. Don't end it. I also wanted to do the same thing. Don't end it. There's light at the end of the tunnel. There's a lot better, I mean, in front, ahead of you, than what you're faced with currently. Just don't end it. Don't end it. I can assure you. I also wanted to end it. There was a time when I got to the point when I was like, this is it. I'm gonna have to put an end to this. It's not the end. When you stop breathing, that's when the end is. But you're still alive, you're still breathing, you don't have to end it. You're fine. You will be fine, and God will continue to hold you, will continue to carry you. He knows that now you can't carry yourself, so He is carrying you. So just hold on. And if you need help, my number is 6161760296660. My name is Patrick Adeyemi-Buckle, and my email address is patrick.adeyemi_buckle at truehopefoundation.org. PATRICK.ADEYMI_BUCKLE at TRUHOPEFOUNDATION.org. Thank you. I wish you all the very best, and I love you. If no one has ever said that to you, if this is the reason why you decided, say, I'm gonna do something, and I'm gonna get out of this place, I'm gonna get out of this situation, and I've had it. Um, I mean, I love you, and I know what it feels like not to be loved. I know what it feels like to feel like it's over, and there's no hope for me, and I've done too much. I've been too nasty. I've been too bad, and I don't deserve a second chance. No, no, that's not true. That's not true. You do deserve a second chance. Everyone deserves a second chance. And once again, I love you. God bless you. Thank you.
Well, for those of you that have just watched, this wonderful show, um, I appreciate you all for actually going through, well, to sit here and to watch Patrick display not only the work he does as humanitarian, but what it is to continue to build people and communities. That in itself says everything about the credibility, the honesty, which was some of the things that he mentioned about what makes him the person he is, and also what's character. These are the work that he does. There's only a few people that come to my mind that have actually reached the pinnacle of being on the very, very top of doing this kind of work. That would be Mahatma Gandhi. that would be Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And both of them were Nobel Prize winners. Patrick is heading in that direction. And with the push from each and every last one of us, not just here in this country, but around the world as you watch this, if you guys are about the humanitarian effort, please make the connection and contact him and his foundation and find out what it is that you can do to contribute to this growing situation globally of human trafficking. Because it's the one thing that we are all afraid of, especially when it comes to our daughters and our sons. Because if it happens to one, it can happen to all, and no one is exempt from these situations. So I want to thank you all, for those that are watching on the YouTube channel. If you have not yet subscribed and hit all of the notifications, I'm asking you if you would please support, our show and our efforts. If you would go and you would do that, because as we have each and every show that we have that's live, it is about that one thing, that is building communities. That's what we're about. That's what this show is about, but that's also what the majority of our guests that come on the show, these are things that they do and hold dear to their hearts. So I would appreciate if you guys could jump into the fight, join us on this mission, because especially in these trying times, we all need to come together, collaborate, and make missions come to fruition. I want to thank you, Patrick, for giving us your time tonight. And we definitely need to have you back, on the show to do an update on the situation in which things are going and how your business are growing. So we're definitely going to reach out to have you back on the show. I want to thank everybody that was watching out there tonight. And you know that tomorrow is Juneteenth. And so I ask that you guys watch our show, not just tomorrow, but on Friday, as we're doing a 2-part special for Juneteenth. Please join us and learn all of the historical context in which not only Juneteenth has come to be what it is, but what it really stands for. You all have a really good evening. We'll see you guys tomorrow. And thank you again for watching America in Black and White, where we are coloring conversations on the